Hey, fish people, welcome back to the channel. So, you know how I do, I go through Facebook groups and stuff and, people post questions. Well, this particular person had posted 4 newbie questions. So rather than break it apart and do multiple, we're just going to go through all of these one at a time and answer them in one video. So it starts off saying a few newbie questions, if you don't mind. First one says, how will I know my new tank is cycled so we can add fish? Well, this one, first of all, there's more to this. We're going to start with that part. So how do you know when your tank is cycled so you can add new fish? On your testing stuff, when you see ammonia is 0, nitrates are 0, and nitrates are, somewhere between 5 to, say, 40. That's going to tell you that you have enough of a beneficial bacteria buildup in your tank to handle an ammonia load, which will also handle a nitrite load. So it's those nitrates you're looking for. And normally you're going to want to keep them about 10 parts per million. Unless you've got a planet tank, you can keep them a little higher. So it says, set up for almost 3 weeks, used ABI Quick Start, and am ghost feeding Habitat Kit. Not expecting to add fish now, just want to know what I'm looking for. Will ammonia spike and then come down? So yes, that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to notice the ammonia is going to go up through the roof, and then it's going to slowly come down. Your nitrates will start going up slowly, and when the ammonia's reach 0, your nitrates are going to be through the roof. Nitrates will be through the roof, and then as the nitrates come down, your nitrates are going to go up, and then that shows you everything is good. Now, normally this takes between 6 to 8 weeks if you don't add anything to your tank. People using these quick starts usually say a couple weeks, so you're probably getting close. It all depends on what you're testing for. So using those, you can probably cut it in half. I'd say maybe 4 weeks, and you'd be good to go. Just when you see no ammonia, no nitrite, and you have a nitrate level in your tank of at least 10 parts per million, you're good. Just don't do a big water change, because then you'll crash the cycle. If you keep using that quick start or other beneficial bacteria and keep giving it an ammonia source, you're good to go. You're on the right track. And then once those nitrates stable out, you're good to add new fish to your tank. Just don't be prepared. There will probably be a bacterial bloom when the fish are added, so your water will get a little cloudy. Within a week, 2 at the max, your bacteria in the tank will rally behind this new bio load, and we'll take care of it. Your water will be crystal clear after that, unless you add more, and then the load's got to even out again. All right. Question 2 from this same person, they were asking, when we test and make changes, how quickly should we potentially test again? Can this even be a general question? So typically, if I'm changing something like pH, I will not check it for a couple hours after I've added the product. I believe it says on some bottles when to actually check. So, if you're checking for pH, definitely reference your pH up or down. Check there. You probably want to wait maybe 12 hours at the most. Normally I'll see it within a couple hours. That's when I check. If you're doing a water change, I wait about an hour, let things settle, and then I will do another test for, ammonia, nitrates, and nitrites. But check whichever you use. If you're doing pH, check on the bottle. It'll definitely tell you how long before you should check. All right, question 3 says, do people take fish out of their suctioning water changes? I'm assuming a fish come out of the siphon. Just want to make sure I understand. Just want to make sure I understand the cleaning process. So, no, you do not have to take all your fish out of the tank. They're fine to stay in there. Water changes aren't going to stress them, overly crazily. So you're perfectly fine. You can leave your fish in while you do your water change. Siphon. Especially if you're using a regular airline, their holes are super small, so you're not going to get anything in there crazy. If you're using a bigger thing like a python, just try and avoid your fish. Especially if you're doing a gravel vac, just try not to get your fish stuck up in there so they don't, get out the tube. But if that happens, some fish will be okay. Just keep an eye on them. Give them something like API Stress Coat, plus with a little aloe or something in it to calm them down, and you should be fine. And the last question says, when adding new water, can one put the chlorinator stuff right in the tank, or should we treat the water in the bucket first? Now, this is a personal preference. People do it both ways. I used to treat the water in the bucket or whatever other device I was using with the new water. Then someone made a good point that just treat the tank. That way you don't have to worry about measuring. Just directly go into the tank. Then you don't have to worry if all the water doesn't get in, not all the chemicals getting in. This way you put it in the tank, you do your water change, then your water is going to cycle this chemical through the tank anyway, and you're not going to have to worry about, if you didn't make all the water come out of the bucket. Like say you fill a 5-gallon bucket, you only end up using 2.5 gallons of the water. You don't know if all that chemical you treated for is now going to be in your tank. So personally, I would say treat your tank versus the bucket. Good questions overall. These are some pretty good basic fish keeping questions here. So I hope if you've had these before, you might have, had these. I've got a whole series about, fish keeping 101. I'll put the playlist up now for y'all. You can check that out if you have any more questions. And hope you guys enjoyed. Leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts on some of these questions. I'll catch you guys in the next one.